Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the September 20th, 2021 full moon in Pisces. Now, for those of you that may not know, as far as the basic meaning of a full moon in astrology, well, a full moon basically in astrology, how it can manifest, it can be it can be a declaration or some kind of revelation or unveiling. It might be when somebody becomes simply tired, exasperated, or full of something. When they've had enough of something, they're basically full of it. It might be a time too where this is very can be very powerful emotional energy, and it can be a disclosure of something, a revelation of something at this time. And I mean, you're having in the water sign, of course. I mean, with Pisces, emotions, of course, can be very chaotic, to say the absolute least. And Pisces energy, of course, can be very super sensitive. And the thing about this, you look at this as well. I mean, full moons in astrology can be about completions, culminations, and endings as well. And the thing with this is the fact that this is going to be in Pisces. Well, it can be for many. It might be a revelation of a person or somebody that might have been very duplicitous or deceptive. Somebody that may have betrayed you. It can be maybe of some alcoholic situation somebody has, or somebody might be involved in chronic drug use that might come into the open at this time. This is again could be very powerful, uninhibited, unrestrained emotional energy. This is where maybe something that was very nebulous and unclear comes to light at this time. And the thing with this too, again, when you talk about full moons in astrology, the fact they're about endings, this is going to make a conjunction to Neptune, and that could add more idealism into having something, being able to put something to an end at this time. It also can be like a revelation of sort to people. It's going to be at 28 degrees Pisces, and as far as Sabian symbols go, well, it might be perhaps many may become more cognizant of some intuitive or mediumistic ability. It might be maybe something where something comes out where there's some kind of accolades, recognition perhaps for doing something medicinal, or can be doing something with pharmaceutical work, as example, something with healing at this time. It can be the way this works too. I mean, I look at this transit, and it's going to be good about it. Pluto is going to be making a sextile to the full moon in Pisces, and that could give the right amount of the ability to desire, the intensity to end something that may be Pisces related. Maybe it was something where some of you maybe showed too much altruism or been sacrificing too much of yourself. Say if the full moon falls in your second house in your natal chart, and maybe it's sacrificing your own resources, as an example, your possessions, money at this time. And or a situation where you have been maybe somewhat gullible, or maybe that comes to light at this time. The thing about it is, when you have the full moon, of course, in astrology, you're going to have the opposition with the sun, and the ideal is to try to make where there's some kind of, I guess, integration, or be able to somehow work it together, though it is opposite. The sun in Virgo can be a focus on details. Virgo energy can be very punctilious with details, and it might be something where, Pisces is about the whole picture. So away when you have this, full moon in Pisces with the sun in Virgo opposing the full moon in Pisces, well, perhaps that can manifest in being able to focus on details in order for you to see the full picture in a situation at this time. It could also, I mean, for many, it could be the culmination or completion of a Pisces vocation or profession. I would say, especially if this falls in the second, sixth, or 10th house in the natal chart, I consider those basically the money houses. Second house is about money and income generated. The sixth house is employment, work. The 10th house is career. Uh, it could be something with anesthesiology, poetry, dancing, chemistry, photography, the metaphysical, which includes astrology. It can be a healing profession. So those are some examples. Pharmaceutical work, maybe that comes to an end at this time. And again, going back to the fact that one may become tired, exasperated, or simply full of something. It could be somebody maybe you saw as overly indolent, overly lazy, or lethargic in some cases. The thing about this too, when you have, I think what could happen this time, I'm sure many of you have heard about that prolific news story that's involving the disappearance of Gabby Petito. Um, this is something that's interesting because this full moon in Pisces is going to make a very close conjunction to her natal sun. The sun can be about the physical body. Pisces is the sign connected with disappearances. And the thing is, when you have the full moon, that can be a revelation or unveiling or discovery. I would not be surprised if tomorrow, when we have this full moon in Pisces, that a discovery could be made of her, or at least more information, a lot more information may come out pertaining to her disappearance. And the thing is, too, what I notice about, and it's also, the transit full moon in Pisces tomorrow is also going to make a conjunction to Gabby Petito's natal Mercury in Pisces. And Mercury can be connected with short journeys, communications. So this could reinforce, I would say, and reaffirm getting more information regarding her disappearance. Because Mercury is the news, it's connected with communication. Now, keep in mind, when you have a full moon in astrology, that other transits that are occurring at this time might be amplified and intensified because they're taking place at the same time as the full moon. Now, one thing that stands out to me, there's going to be a opposition between Venus and Scorpio and Uranus and Taurus. This could be a time where many might feel like, Venus is relationships, lovers, Uranus is freedom. It might be more of that need to have freedom, or where one can't get enough freedom from a lover, from a romantic partner, with Venus being in Scorpio. Maybe they're lovers that are very, say, possessive, obsessive, controlling, ones that are relentless. It can be something or even manipulative, and the Uranus making the opposition to Venus can indicate where one really might need that freedom and is trying to, really trying very hard to get away from relationships at this time. And the thing about it is, or it might be very hard to find it because Uranus, of course, being opposite Venus, and the efforts may be there, but it may be hard to come by. But another thing too is that, interestingly enough, when you have the full moon in Pisces, Pisces is the sign connected with seclusion, solitude, and isolation. There might be a very powerful need for that at this time. So it's another indicator of where many may feel they're going to need to be maybe more alone at this time, more so than usual. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, now looking at other things, with this transit, keep in mind that, I mean, if you have this, I would say especially in the first or the sixth house in your chart, because the first house is connected with the physical body, the sixth house is associated with physical health issues. Maybe there's something that comes out, it's a revelation or unveiling, something that could be Pisces related, that's connected with health. It could be something with the feet, the toes, the lymphatic or immune system at this time that may come out. That might be, might be something that may need to be taken care of. I would say, given that it's regular full moon, it's not. It probably would likely be nothing that serious. It could just be a minor injury to the feet or the toes, as an example. There's also some things with this full moon as well. That's it's really important to just keep in mind that emotions are going to be really on full throttle when you have this full moon. Again, it's in a water sign. It's in Pisces. Emotions can be very very chaotic. I would say maybe tumultuous. And there might be overreaction, being overly sensitive to something at this time, or someone where one really can strongly get their feelings hurt. I would say at this time the opposition to Mars in this transit certainly doesn't help matters at this time, and the transit of Mars being in Libra is going to be in its detriment at this time. And this could be, I mean, Mars in Libra can be about, but could also indicate contentious, acrimonious situations in relationships at this time. And the Sun making a conjunction to it can shine the light on that basically. But at the same time, when you have a Sun and Mars conjunction, that could give added courage and willpower, I would say, as well. And the fact that you have the full moon in Pisces, that could give maybe having more of that courage and fortitude to end something at this time. That could be Pisces related, and whether it was where something connected with where you might have been deceived, or you deluded yourself over something, or you were dealing with maybe somebody that was very somewhat apathetic, maybe just or a person that maybe was directionless and didn't really have a focus on where they were going in their life. As some examples, these are, I mean, when you have this transit, I mean, like I stated before, all the other transits could be intensified and amplified at this time. But I noticed too, and it's also important to look at the transits it makes to points in your chart, or what I should say is, well, other transits of other planets at this time, to points in your natal chart, can be emphasized and magnified because they're taking place at the same time as the full moon in Pisces. Now, interestingly, I noticed that transit Mars in Libra is going to be making a conjunction, a fairly close conjunction, to my natal Uranus in Libra. And I mean, of course, that can manifest in a number of ways, but it could give added courage in matters with, the Uranus connected with astrology, friendships. It might be where there might be more initiative, there might be more courage in these matters, doing something with astrology with little hesitation or procrastination. It's also going to be the transit Mars will be in my fifth house, but be very close to my 6th house cusp. So it'll be interesting to see how that is going to pan out for me. And the thing is, again, I mean, I want to state that wherever the full moon in Pisces is, whatever house it falls in your chart, is going to be important as well, because that could impact the delineation and interpretation of it. Now, mine is going to fall in my 11th house in my chart, and the thing about this is going to be, it could be where maybe something, with a friend comes out that was somewhat deceptive and duplicitous. Um, something where maybe something comes out where I'm aware of maybe more of a dissolving or dissipation of a friendship at this time. I mean, you could look at it like as being, because the full moon could be about revelations and unveilings, maybe more cognizant of doing something with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, as a goal or aspiration. But I'm already aware of that. Could it give greater awareness in that somehow? I guess it could be possible, but I believe I'm already pretty well aware of it at this point in time. And other thing is, it just, I mean, this is going to be right, like I stated. I mean, the full moon can be about endings, but remember that when you have an ending of something, it could also signify a new beginning. So it's not like, full moon is all, gloom and doom. This can really have some benefits in it by ending something that you really don't need anymore in your life. Get rid of the old baggage, and time to start anew. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.